So I seen a clip that made me look this up, and we reacting to this today.
If you are out walking with your man, right, and a group of men come up and disrespect you, what do you expect your man to do?
Beat their ass.
The whole group.
I mean, I don't want to say too much on here, but something's gonna be done.
Chris, you
Don't
want
give
to
me
talk
that face.
Chris, talk some shit.
Listen,
Of course, naturally, you're going to want to whoop these asses, but I'm just saying, man, it's a tough job being a Jesus Christ.
oh my God.
Like, of course, I'm supposed to immediately, like, bro, what you on? We bout that. I'm from Chicago, too. It's cool. And if it's too many of them, if I got it on me, it's cool. We gonna do whatever. I bet you 75% of the men in jail right now, it stems from a woman. Either somebody talking to their woman, disrespecting their woman, or because their woman was disrespecting them and talking to them crazy. It stems from a woman. That all in jail is because of a goddamn woman, bro. And I'm just not trying to add to that statistic.
The clip I was seeing was shorter than this and didn't mention that part that he just mentioned, but now I got to do this. I didn't think I was going to do this, but I got to do this right now.
This man was unalived on his birthday after he accused another man of staring at his girlfriend too hard. February 3rd, 2025, Anthony Souvenir here, aka Big Fetty, his girlfriend and their baby walked into a Walgreens when they noticed another man standing at the register. This man, Jamie Taylor, was there loading money on his Cash App card when the family walked in. Anthony saw him looking, so he yelled out, "Hey bro, you staring at her too fucking hard," which they had words, but it kind of died down. When Anthony walked away from the situation, he thought he overheard Jamie saying something to him, so he responded to it. Jamie tells him like, "Hey bro, I'm not fucking talking to you. I'm on the motherfucking phone, actually." But the argument picks up from there. Anthony then tells Jamie like, "Hey bro, I see you got one, I got one too," referring to his weapon that he could see on Jamie's waistband because that's where it was. At that point, Jamie actually put his hand on his weapon, but he didn't aim it at anybody. And when Jamie took his weapon out of his waistband, that's when Anthony started to reach for his bag. That's when Jamie fired the weapon, striking Anthony. And Anthony was able to chase him just for a little bit before he collapsed inside of the Walgreens, and he was later pronounced deceased. Jamie did flee the scene before police got there, but later returned and turned himself in, actually. Jamie is incarcerated and facing a second-degree unaliving charge, and he is being held without bond. This man really lost his life on his birthday over nonsense. May he rest in peace. And this is his last post on social media, posted on his birthday with the caption saying, "Life is too short not to smile." Y'all be easy out here.
So right there, that example right there, he lost his life, unfortunately, because he was trying to turn something that wasn't an issue into a big issue. Just a look. Just a look. Now, I want you to remember him when I get to the end of the video, because I got something that I'm going to say. Now, that is not the woman's fault in that situation, because she didn't do anything. It is a man's fault for being sensitive, tender, and just taking a look and turning it into something much bigger. So even though she is not at fault, it's still a situation that transpired over a woman, over the other guy looking at this guy's woman too hard, or whatever the case may be, as far as what he wanted to say. Now, when you look at jail, the guy who ended up unaliving Big Fetty, air quote Big Fetty, he's going to jail. You know, he's facing charges because of this situation, again, over a woman. And what somebody said in the comments was real. Like, you did all that, and this is just real what I'm about to say. It may be like, it's just real. She's going to have another guy. It's just a matter of time. She is going to have another guy. You did all that, and she is going to have another guy. I've seen situations like this in real life where dudes are having shootouts over a chick. They're having shootouts over a chick, and these dudes is two thugs. And once they both done with her, she went and got a square. And the square, like, he not into none of that street shit, and he not even in the proximity of any of them dudes, and he not about to have no shoot. They not about to have no shootouts with this guy over that chick. And that happened so long ago that I'm sure she has engulfed plenty of cocks since then. So it's never really worth it. It's never really worth it. Now, when we get to the guy on the couch, this is the messed up part. There is an expected response for two reasons. Number one, the male ego, just got to keep it a beam with you. The male ego. And that's why this last situation even happened, the male ego, which I'm going to break down in a moment. But also because this is what the woman expects, which also adds more pressure onto that male ego. So this is the male ego. We are hardwired to be protectors, especially of women and children. That's most of us are hardwired to do that, especially the women in our lives. So simply put, if you were put in a position where you fail to protect your woman or kids, you will feel like less of a man. That is the male ego. So when you were presented with a situation like disrespect, to where nobody is in actual danger, but you know that this is going to hurt like her feelings, and this is an outside source that is not like her mom or a family member or something like that, that is causing, any type of pain, even emotional, to your girl. And we're going to go with emotional because he just said disrespect. He didn't say put hands on her or shake her up or grope her or anything like that. A group of men come up to her and disrespect her. That's one thing because they are really trying to impact your girl in a negative way. So that's one thing, even if it is just verbally. And it's a group of guys. So they're doing that verbally. The second thing is, I already did the video about respect being everything. Respect means a tremendous amount to a man in general. In general. So let's go back to that male ego. So if you as a man are disrespected by another man, that is not going to sit right with you. So if a man directly disrespects you, you feel the need to either A, stand up for yourself and, get your respect, or B, make him respect you through physical force and stuff like that, or just give him punishment, repercussions and stuff like that, or even threaten him. That could be number 3, threaten him, with physical violence. The option that is not really an option because it's going to make you feel bad, it's going to damage your ego, is to just take it. It's just to take it. And even then, we as men know that that is a slippery slope, because once people see that they can disrespect you, do you think it stops? No, they will do it again. And they'll actually take it to different heights, because that's how bullies work. So I don't have to go deeper on that. That's just a man disrespecting a man. Now, it's a whole different dynamic. It's like the same dynamic on steroids when you disrespect a man's girl in front of him. Because not only are you disrespecting him indirectly, you are going at his soft spot. You are going at his soft spot. You are going to make him be perceived by the woman he loves as a bitch. And I'm going to tell you something. Even the weakest of men, do not want to sit with that. Even if they know they are completely incapable of doing anything to the individual in front of them or the group, they still, if they had the capability, they would absolutely do something. It's not going to sit right even with the weakest of men. So that's the male ego. But this is the thing that we also know. And it still goes hand in hand with the male ego, which is she expects you in any situation, especially a situation like this, to be the macho man. She wants you to step up and karate chop everybody to death. You got to either turn into Jet Li or John Wick, Keanu Reeves. You got to do one or the other. You got to either start clapping stuff or start chopping stuff. You got to do one or the other. Start kicking cats in the rib cage, and putting them in suplexes, all types of stuff. You got to turn into Brock Lesnar or Randy Orton. You got to start 3D'ing motherfuckers. And everybody knows this is the expectation women have in these situations. So and this is the thing, it in the moment, regardless what you do. If the situation doesn't go favorably, you're going to hear about it later, and it's going to be held against you. And if it comes down to that, that is a whole nother can of worms that you have to deal with as far as the scrutiny from your girl, which is really going to eat at your ego even more. But this is the truth. The situation is not safe. We're going to continue to watch the video after this, but the situation is not safe. You are outnumbered. You cannot win. In this situation, more than likely, you cannot win. So you were going to have to fold them, and you were going to have to live with this. Or you're going to have to get lumped up. I got a clip I'm going to play before we get back to this, because this is a mentality that most dudes don't have. It's a clip of Mano. He got confronted by Diddy. Diddy bodyguard told him to come into like some place that was Diddy's territory or whatever, like a building or whatever. He go into the building, he talking to Diddy, and he had dissed Diddy, early in his career, but he a real street dude. So, they exchanged words and nothing happened. But listen to what he said.
In your situation,
Right.
I would have been concerned to walk into his territory with his bodyguards on his ground and him being disrespectful.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
Nah, none of that happened.
Right, and that was good.
But at the thing,
But
you
what
gotta
would have happened
understand-
if he started like yelling at you and talking down to you?
You gotta understand me. I'm taking that ass whipping. I'm taking it.
You're gonna take it.
I'm gonna take it. But understand that's gonna come with something.
Right.
I ain't doing no posturing. You very early on, you came to my neighborhood with me.
Yep.
You understood, and I showed you,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, I saw the movement.
Understand?
The hustle hard movement.
So
and
at this
everything, yeah.
point, I would have took all that. If that was what my fate was, and if that was what my karma was for me running my mouth, I was taking that.
So listen, we're going to get back to the video, and I'm going to let it rock for a good chunk of time. But how many of y'all have the I'm going to take that ass whooping mentality? I'm not about to lie to you. I don't have that. It's got to be something crazy for me to say that. Like, it's got to be something like, yo, I'm not even doing no hypotheticals, dog. It got to be something really crazy. Like, a dude got to, like, nut on my chick in front of me or some shit like that with a group of fucking, like, with some cartel members or some shit, nigga. It got to be that crazy, bro. It got to, bruh. Yeah, it got to be that crazy.
On top of the fact that y'all expect us to pay for everything, we
gotta
supposed
die
to
for
we
y'all.
we don't even have the luxury of being afraid like a normal human being in normal
No one said
in normal
that, but
fearful
I feel
situations.
Yeah, I didn't say what I said. You could talk
But
to them.
no, but what
Nah,
I'm
I
saying
don't
is,
know.
as a
You gonna have to
man,
do
if you
something.
with your as a
Yeah.
man, if this motherfucker caught on fire right now, he's supposed to help. He ain't supposed to just take off running like his natural instinct. He's supposed to make sure you're okay first.
Yeah.
Even on the airplane, they say put your mask on first before you help others.
Yeah,
But a woman
sure.
start shooting in here right now, I'm supposed to go like this over you and run with you hand in
that's-
hand, knowing
if
I
you're
can take
big,
right there.
like-
I could be good.
I mean,
Yo,
It
you
depends.
are
I
hilarious.
could do one of these right now and be gone. Good safety. You gonna
Oh
get me
my
shot.
God.
Around with you with these guys on. I told you not to wear them. I
Oh.
told you not to wear no guys heels to a concert because I gotta be the hero.
If you don't want to be the dominant one, then no, don't do none
Right.
of that. But I'm
Right, you
So wait a minute. I got to take a bullet to be dominant. I got to shield you from bullets to be the dominant one in a relationship. See, it's like it's two things. Oh, I'm gonna cook at the end of this video. So I'm gonna just be short about this. I'm not even gonna say the two things. I'm gonna just say one. These women do not care about your safety or your life at all. You need to remember that. You need to know that, and you need to remember that. Bruh, these chicks do not care about that. They do not care about you doing whatever it takes to avoid that 18-man ass whooping. They want you to take the ass, and then they get mad if you lose against the 18 guys. So it's crazy. I highlighted this in my Why Black Men Don't Protect Black Women video, which is like a master class on this topic. And check this out. That playlist that I said I was going to do, I actually did it. The most referenced videos. So when you start seeing me reference videos, I got like 200 something videos. That playlist only got 80 videos. The videos that I reference all the time are on that playlist. Go to my playlist tab. You'll definitely see it at some point. I'm going to edit it to be on the front page.
I want a
alpha, you
dominant
wanna
man.
lead,
Yes.
then
Yeah,
you better
so-
lead.
But that's
Are you
crazy.
gonna lead
sorry.
or not?
That's still just like
Are
if
you
really
a man
think
who
about
leads?
it.
Yes or
of
no?
course, and
Okay.
I lead well, but I'm just saying.
As a man, I don't know who made this rule of walking on the inside of the street while you with your woman.
Yeah.
I think that's the dumbest. Because I think, let me explain why, and it's going to make sense to y'all. It's more likely that a bum pops out from the side, out of some alley or some and like stabs your or tries to grab you or something, and it is a car coming off of the street hitting you and not hitting me that's directly next to you. If I'm on the side of the alley, I could save you from that. If a car come off the street, we both getting hit. But tell me why though.
Back in the days too, like even as far as like robberies and shit like that, used to actually like pull up in a car, jump out and get you.
Right.
That it stems from that. Like a lot of it wasn't like really just your average civilians walking around the street finna stick you up.
Right.
It was like pull up, hop out, give me your get back in the car, drive away. So it stems from that and drunk driving and all that type of dumb shit. And like stray animals and usually come from it. Like that's usually what it stems from. And I'm a country.
Always live downtown, so it's always bums coming from the side.
Yeah.
Last year, tried to rob me leaving the club. Where did he come from? He came from alley.
No, I feel you. In 2023, that probably make more sense what you saying.
If you're somewhere where the other side is worse, then yeah, get on the other side. It just depends.
So we done with the clip, and I got my chef apron on. This is the second point that I was going to make to y'all, and the last, cutoff that I did. I don't think women have a good perception of danger. I don't think that they have a good sense of danger. And this is how come women's intuition is bullshit to me. I'm going to go down some of the spectrum. A lot of women will pop shit and antagonize men that they cannot beat. And they do this in public, and in some cases they even do this in private. So they will antagonize a guy that they cannot beat, and they will get him piped up, they will get him angry. They know that if this guy were to put hands on them, it could be as ugly as the guy wants it to be. Now, in public, they do this under the guise that there is a social contract that a man is not supposed to hit a woman. Everybody in society agrees on this. Other men are supposed to step up and either slay the dragon or pull him off of her, or whatever the case may be. And they kind of rely on that, as something in their minds to do the shit that they do. And they will really pop shit at a guy that they have no chance of fucking with. And it's like the dude, it don't even be weak looking dudes. It be formidable guys. I've given examples of this in a bunch of other videos. That other video that I referenced, I gave a bunch. So go and watch that black woman video. I'm not going to waste your time giving the same examples I always give. But that happens a lot as far as the public. Now, the contrast to that as far as men is men don't bite off more than they can chew. Let me say it again. Men do not bite off more than they can chew. They are not going to antagonize guys that they cannot beat, that they don't feel they have the upper hand on. And that's really universal for the most part. I'm talking about from prison to the streets to regular civilians in the suburbs. Like, men pick and choose. Even the toughest guys that you can think of. They pick it. The toughest guys you could think of is somebody tougher. And they know that guy is tougher, or, they know who not to fuck with. Even the toughest guys know who not to fuck with. And this is the thing about that. You remember the guys that I mentioned as far as the social contract that a man is not supposed to hit a woman. It's a whole different thing with men. Nobody is coming to save us. And that's something that we know. We know nobody is coming to save us. And I'll give you an even worse point. If you are a black man, you are going to be frowned upon in your own community if you involve the police. You could even be a civilian. If you get your ass whooped, if you get pistol whipped, if you get whatever, if it's just a physical altercation, if you call the cops, if you press charges, you are a bitch in the community. And I'm talking about even if you are a civilian, people going to look at you a funny type of way for involving law enforcement. That is a privilege that white people and people from other communities have. If you get hands put on you, you could sue, you could call the cops. In the black community, even as a regular guy, if you do that, even your parents might look at you a certain type of way. So with that being said, from a public standpoint, men absolutely know how to assess a situation and perceive, I can't fuck with this nigga. I should tread lightly. So that's the first thing. The second thing is you have some women who participate in DV against guys. They will beat on guys. They like to hit guys with bats, tase guys, stab dudes' cars, car tires and stuff like that, egg their cars, beat on them in public and stuff like that. And this is what happens. This is what it is. These same dudes could really dog these chicks. I'm not talking about like Joe Button type dudes to where it's like, well, you hit me and I be hitting you, so it is what it is. Da 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 da. And I mentioned Joe Button because him and Tahiri had a thing to where that came out, and he said, "Yo, you used to be hitting me, so I'm hitting you back," and da 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 da, all that stuff. And her whole thing was, you used to abuse me and beat on me and stuff like. And he has multiple allegations about that. And even then, if Joe really wanted to like really end the chick, he definitely could. He definitely could. So we're not going to go deeper on that. But my whole point, just outside of actual people who like engage in abuse, if you look at somebody like Bow Wow, who got beat up by his girl, this is how society works. He got beat up by his girl and he had a mug shot come out of him beat up. Guess what everybody did? Everybody laughed at it. His girl looked cool. He wasn't beating on her. She looked cool. But she was whooping on him. Everybody laughed because he got beat up by a girl. Now, if Lil Bow Wow dug deep in his bag and let all his man strength out on this chick's face and she looked like Rihanna on the front of Time magazine, it would have been epically bad. It would have been epically bad. And Rihanna is a perfect example. These chicks will beat on a nigga. Because if you hear what happened in the Chris Brown story, that's what happened. She seen something on the phone or whatever, and she was whooping on his cat in the car and da-da-da-da-da. And he took so much and he eventually blacked out. Because he couldn't control himself, he blacked out. And I don't condone none of this. Let's be clear. I don't condone men putting their hands on women in any circumstance. But it happened. And the whole point that I'm trying to make that may go over some people's heads because they may be triggered by this shit. But these women stand no chance, even in private, against their boyfriends. But they will still initiate putting hands on their boyfriends because of how they feel, and they think that's a way to communicate and, all that shit. They think that's some shit to do. But if a motherfucker really black out, you end up looking like Martin on that one episode where he boxed Tommy Hearns. So that's just the first side of the spectrum. That's the first side. The second side is the men so dangerous side of the spectrum. You got all these women who just run all over men, antagonize men, and all of that shit that I already mentioned, right? We'll even throw on that side of the spectrum women who say men are useless, et cetera, but they still expect to be protected by men in every situation where they're in danger, right? We're supposed to be the protectors. But then you look at this dumbass, who would you rather be in the forest with, a bear or a man? These chicks pick the bear. These chicks pick the bear. Now that by itself is wildly stupid because there's no way that a wild animal that is not even regular height, regular size, we're talking about like, bro, I don't know how much a bear weigh. It gotta weigh at least 600 pounds, bro. Ain't no bear about to weigh no 300, 400 pounds, bro. The bears weigh a fucking ton. Like, they weigh a lot. And they got big, sharp claws and big teeth, and they can climb trees. And you want to be in the forest with something that is, like, if you seen one right now, you would absolutely be in fear for your life. If you and a bear came face to face, you would 100% be in fear of your life. But you come in contact with men at the grocery store, at the drive-through, at the gas station. Some even approach you at some of these places. And guess what? Your life has not been in danger just because a man was there. Yet you still find a way to turn this into a dangerous hypothetical situation. But I'll give you another situation. Me as a black man, I don't look really thuggish in my opinion. And this is the way I break it down to people. I don't look thuggish to black people at all. Nobody black would think I'm a thug or nothing like that. But when you get a white person who don't be around none of that shit, they'll probably perceive me that way. Now, I say that because I have gotten, like, bro, it was a time where I got out, the car at the mall. And there was this old lady walking, in my direction. Soon as I come from around the car, bruh, it was like she seen the ghost of Nat Turner. Bruh, her face just like, oh, it was like terror and shit like that. And I'm just like, I can't remember if I screwed my face up. I might have did it after because I didn't realize what was happening, like as it happened. But I know, like, when I got in the mall, I was like, ain't nobody trying to like get the fuck out of here, like, So it's just one of those things where she was terrified just because, ooh, a black man is here. Ooh, scary. Like, she clutched her fucking pearls. And it's a lot of white women who do that. I even talked to another one. We had a whole hypothetical conversation at one of my jobs early, like way long ago. Like, and she said, like, one of the guys that we work with, like, she said, yeah, if I was driving down the street and I was at a red light and I seen one of y'all walking up the street, yeah, I would hit the auto lock on my car. She said that. She said that. She said that to a bunch of working black men. She said that to a bunch of working black men. So that's another way that they just have no sense. And this is specifically white women, have no sense of danger. Like, they don't have a realistic sense of danger. And I'll just give you one more. I'll give you one more. And guess who the main culprit is again for this? White chicks. But this time it's not racial. These chicks, you've seen influencers in the gym, these white female influencers, and they'll be doing stuff, and a dude will come up and he'll just ask for, like, yo, where can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese? And the chick act like the dude is a whole predator. Like, she act like the dude is a whole predator and she doesn't feel safe because she has PTSD from all the hooking up that she did in college. But she's going to say, oh, no, one time I woke up and it, like, whatever. She has taken out whatever she has going on a innocent guy who is not approaching her on nothing crazy, nothing rude, or nothing like that. And I've even seen some videos that I can't find. I don't know where I would have to go to find them. But chicks are yelling at the gym. White chicks yelling at the gym. Because the dude just said something like, oh yeah, next time, you should keep your arms, elevated and not go through the full range of motion just so you can keep the tension while you're, strengthening the muscle. They give them some fitness advice and she just gets so fucking pissed off about it and she tries to act like the dude is a predator. Now, I went through this spectrum, and these chicks on both ends of the spectrum very well may not be the same chicks. Like, the chick that's traumatized may not be beating on people and stuff like that. But when you look at both sides of the spectrum, there are a lot of women who represent both sides to some degree. So I really don't think that they can assess danger well. Now, that was the entree. Now it's time for the dessert as far as the cooking. When Nipsey Hussle died, Lauren London said something I had never heard a woman say before, and it kind of bothered me just because of all the stuff going on around Nipsey Hussle. Like, I was a Nipsey Hussle fan, and I know niggas wasn't there, bro. I know, I know a lot of people wasn't fucking with him through his whole run that started fucking with him once he died. And the main people being chicks. It really bothered because they tried to begin to romanticize his relationship with Lauren London and stuff like that. So it was just a nasty time for me. There was a meme going around, and it was basically a tweet where a chick said, oh man, Nipsey Hussle used to light sage before, her and Lauren London left the house so he could, protect her from the demons. That's how much of a protector he was. And do y'all even know what sage is? And let me tell you something, because if you white and you got some different shit going on, I can't really speak to what y'all got going on over there, but I say this for the niggas. That is where the sage boom happened. It was 2019, I'm pretty sure. And he died. That tweet came out. Do y'all even know what sage is? And sage sales boosted through the roof. More chicks was burning sage in their house than ever before, man. I promise you. I promise you. It's just like when Drake said clap, clap, bravo, something, something, something in a glass of Moscato. And now all these fucking E&J drinking ass bitches start drinking wine. Everybody want to drink wine now. Like that's what happened back then. Everybody became wine drinkers then. Like, like so all of that aside, I just had to paint that picture for you so you know what's going on. Lauren London, she said that he made me feel so protected. And I had never heard that. I had never heard that from any woman or from anybody, that somebody made them feel so protected. And since then, I've actually heard and seen it a lot. And we went through this whole video and we've seen two things to highlight before we get to this next point. We've seen that women don't really assess danger very well. That was a whole last segment that I went over. But outside of that, you also seen that the expectations that women have of men in these situations are unrealistic and a bonus. They don't care about your safety, right? They don't care about your safety. So when you take those 2 to 3 things, we get to, you guessed it. No, you didn't guess it. You didn't know where he was going here. This is why they date pookies. This is why they date thugs. This is why they fuck with those types of guys. Because what it comes down to, when you look at the Lauren London situation, what I began to realize and what I've realized from a lot of people, because I'm going to give you another person who I've seen this said about recently. King 68 the Great, he had a video where a chick said, I feel so protected around you. And he said, you are protected. You know, they like a guy who seems like, and this is the key word, seems like they have a high capacity or capability of violence. So let me break that down from both perspectives as far as both guys. So Nipsey Hussle is a gang banger. He is a gang banger. Forget the rapping. He is really a part of a gang. He is really a thug. Let me take it a step further. He is also respected by the gang members in his gang and also people in his city. Now, you could look at videos of him like going off on white people or photographers and stuff like that. You can go and look at that. That shit is really nothing because those are weak opponents. Those are nobody. But it's the perception. It's the perception of those things that I mentioned. Gangbangers, or violence is associated with them. So for you to be a gangbanger, especially in LA, oh, you got to catch like 50 fades and squabbles and all that. And you go into the county catching squabbles with the enemies. They lining you up. You're doing 10 squabbles, squabble, squabble, squabble. A squabble, wobble, wobble. You're doing the squabbling. But then on top of that, you might be doing drills. That's what people know gangbangers for. So if you look at that, just the perception, there may be some mystery there because you don't know exactly what he did, but the chick is like, yo, he's a part of this life, so it's possible he did this and that he capable of this. So all of that will make a chick feel protected. Now, if you look at any other type of thug or something like that, you know, in a different area like Milwaukee or West Virginia or wherever, it don't matter. You know, there should be some similar qualities to where chicks still have that mystery around like what type of street dude this dude is, because the get money part is always a plus. But with the gangster stuff, it's supposed to be like, you're a tough guy. You're a tough guy. So that's how they look at it. And you could even take that all the way over to like the mafia stuff and all of that stuff. Like women like that. Women like that. Let's go over to King 68 the Great. Now, is he a gangster? No. Do we be talking about shooting people? No. Do we be showing off a gun collection? No. What is it about him? It's his physical prowess. He's 6'8", heavy muscle. So from a physical standpoint, women think he is just superior to most men, And most men is not going to be able to beat them up off size alone. That's why we have weight classes in fighting. So just off the weight and the height, they're going to assume nobody is fucking with this guy. So I don't got to worry about nobody harming me physically with their hands or even a small weapon when this guy's around, because they don't want that problem. And this is the thing. I need you to understand that this is all perception. He might have never won a fight in his life. He may have never fought in his life. He may have gotten beat by a 5'9" guy before. And then when you look at Nipsey Hussle, man, he could have been just put on a set and never did nothing. Just never did nothing. He was doing music the whole time. That could have been the case. I don't know. I'm just talking from a we don't know perspective. Any of this stuff could have happened. But they are going to assume you know the best when it comes to these situations and these types of guys and their capability of violence for the reasons that I mentioned, because those make more sense than a gangbanger who has done nothing, a gangbanger who has done nothing violent in his history of gangbanging, or a 6'8", 300-pound guy who can't defend himself and he all muscle. He not even fat, he all muscle. And look, I think Nip and him are good guys, honestly. If you take the things that I said and transfer those qualities to way worse guys, local guys in your area, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Women feel like these guys can live up to their unrealistic expectations of, oh, no group of guys is going to come up to us because, this motherfucker, he going to hold it down. He could beat all seven. Like that's what they think. Or he going to kill all seven of them. Shit, he going to create a hit list and he going to knock them off one by one. That's the expectations that they have. They have unrealistic expectations. And when it comes to their imagination, they like a guy that they could imagine taking care of situations like that. Now, for a guy like King 6'8", the Great, as far as just, a big dude, that's fine. That's cool. But when we get to stuff like criminals and gangbangers, and I'm not talking about Nipsey Hussle, I'm talking about when we take it to like lower tier guys who have these qualities, that's when you end up in bad situations. And that's how come chicks make the worst choices, because they make choices based off of shit like that. They don't think of the negative consequences, like, the lifestyle that this guy lives, if I'm in a car with this guy, I don't know if somebody could be trying to come after this guy or something like that because of some stuff he's done in the past, because nobody's coming after me. But even then, just people knowing that he is, like, if I become too important to him, is it possible that somebody would kidnap me? Like, these are the things that don't go through their head. And why don't these things go through their head? Because of what the fuck I mentioned earlier in the last segment. They don't know how to perceive danger. They do not know how to perceive danger in a realistic way. Not gonna lie, I'm dropping gems that nobody else is dropping. You ain't seen nobody say this shit that I'm saying, man. You ain't seen nobody. These is not the same talking points from a bunch of other niggas. This is real shit that I'm giving you. This is exclusive. This is exclusive. Like, nobody's kicking this shit like this, bro. So when you look at that chick with a master's degree, with a street dude that don't even got a GED, but he getting some type of money and shit like that, that's why Black women specifically do it. Can't speak to no other demographic doing that other than Black women, because it's like, that's really just some Black community shit. But listen, man, you get all the points that I laid out, man. And I just need you to remember, if you don't take anything, because I laid some gems out. I laid a lot of gems out. If you don't take one thing away from this video, just take this away from the video. These chicks do not give a fuck about your safety. Remember that. Remember that. Most of these chicks do not give a fuck about your safety, especially the 9s and 10s that you were building your Ferrari collection up for. They don't give a fuck about your safety. So you give a fuck about your safety. You control. You want to know what leading is? Because they talking about, leading is what he mentioned. Don't put them heels on. And better yet, we not going to the NBA YoungBoy concert where, you know, it's going to be a bunch of hooligans and shit, and they not going to have good security. Somebody going to probably have a pipe in there. We might not get into nothing, but guess what? Somebody getting shot. Somebody get no. You go and watch NBA YoungBoy on YouTube. We not going to see that motherfucker in person. That's leading. We not going to the club. We not going to an area that is built for single people to get drunk and hit on each other and have sex, and dudes also be fighting in there, and chicks also be fighting in there for whatever reason. You know, I'm gonna leave on this note, man. It's a True Life, and I can't remember the True Life episode, but this chick dude was like, he was just a cool dude. He was a chill guy, but he didn't like going out, so he would stay at the crib. His girl would be going out all the time, right? And this is on MTV. This chick goes out to the club, and guess what? She gets hit by a man. For whatever reason, she gets hit by a man. She on her way back to the car. She calling, and these are white people, by the way. She's calling her man. Like, yo, some motherfucker just hit me. You know what he said? That's why I told your ass you shouldn't be going out. That was him trying to protect her. But you see in a lot of situations that this is what chicks want. They want a motherfucker to come out, get in his car with a Draco, a AK, a motherfucking M16 or something, and shoot everybody out there. Do a mass shooting because she got hit. That's what they want to happen. And they ain't accomplice or nothing. They get to go home. They get on some different cock later. That's what they would like to happen. But he tried to protect her by telling her, like, this club shit is not it. But she want to go to the club. And guess what happens at the club? Bullshit like that. People actually get killed at the club. Maybe not at white clubs, but, you know. Chicks do get punched at white clubs. We figured that out. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I'm out.
That's crazy. Women actually say that.
Every woman, bro. Watch this. Excuse me. Quick question. Would you rather be stuck in a forest with a man or a bear?
Bear.
Why the bear?
Because men are very unpredictable sometimes when they're straight, usually.
You don't think the bear's unpredictable?
No, because I'm a crazy bitch, so I'll scare it.
You could take a bear?
Yeah, I'm Colombian. I could take the bear.
How would you take a bear?
By screaming and being big like you're supposed to.
How big can you get? Can you show me? You have no chance. Now do you believe me that every woman chooses the bear?
Oh, hoes be wildin'. I ain't gonna. That's one thing I learned, bro.
Well, we will sue the fuck out you if I see this on the internet. I'm gonna let you know that now.
No.
You want me to call my daddy?
Your daddy?
Yeah.
Why?
For situations like this, I'm not gonna. He'll do that to you.
What are you gonna do to me?
All right, stay right here.
What are you talking about?
Stay right here. Stay right here. Don't move.
I just want to say I love y'all.
No, stay right here.
I love y'all.
Do you want that done to you?
What? I don't want nobody to sue me. Can we end on good terms?
I ain't gonna care. Stay right here. Don't move.
Bro.
Like, I'm not gonna care. I'm dead ass calling my father.
What are you gonna tell him?
I hope you know how to run from an AK.
Wait, what did you say?
Keep playing with you.
Are you threatening me?
I am.
That's crazy.
Police right there. You want to tell him?
I love you.
You lucky he went to voicemail.
Look, I just want to end on good terms. You know, like.
No, go away.
I'm about